Panasonic ships Tesla 4680 cells. June 2, 2022. Panasonic said on Wednesday that it has shipped samples of Tesla's 4680 cell to the automaker ahead of mass production. Panasonic detailed its plans for the production timeline during the first day of the company's annual investor event. A pilot line, created first in Japan, made it possible to start large-scale prototype production in May. Kazuo Tadanobu, Panasonic's energy business CEO, said during the event. Panasonic believes mass production of the 4680 cell is set to begin in March 2023 when the company's fiscal year starts. Panasonic's Wakayama plant will initially handle the production of the cell. It will then be shifted to North America. Tadanobu has not committed in the past to produce the 4680 cells in the United States. But now that he is stating the company will transition production to North America. It could bring another plant to the U.S. Source reposted and summarized from Joe E. Klender at Tesla RT. My take: these 4680 batteries will be a much bigger deal than they are being given credit for. New GigaPress is for Tesla Cybertruck. June 2, 2022. Last week Tesla's GigaPress manufacturer IDRA released a video teasing a new 9,000-ton GigaPress being assembled at the company's Lombardy, Italy factory. In the 21-second video, IDRA did not share a lot of details about the new machine besides stating it will be coming in 3 weeks. Currently, Tesla uses 6,000-ton GigaPresses to build the front and rear chassis of the Model Y as single pieces. Using the GigaPress has allowed Tesla to decrease parts that make up the rear body of the Model Y from 120 to 1. This enables Tesla to eliminate several welding robots from the production line, decrease the footprint of the factory, and decrease manufacturing time, complexity, and assembly errors. Having a single-piece rear body as opposed to 120 also makes the Model Y lighter, stiffer, and simply an overall better product but at a cheaper price. Source reposted and summarized from Tinsai Arage at Talk News. My take: the GigaPress gives Tesla a huge advantage over the other OEMs. Cars can be made quicker, better and cheaper. How much impact have electric vehicles had on global oil demand? June 2, 2022. Every week we see more evidence that electric vehicles are accelerating into the mainstream. A recent report from Bloomberg NEF contains plenty of encouraging statistics. According to the latest Zero-Emission Vehicles Progress Dashboard, global passenger EV sales set new records in 2021. And some regions have reached mass market levels of EV adoption. In Norway, the planet's champion early adopter, plug-in vehicles EVs and plug-in hybrids took 97% of the auto market in the fourth quarter of 2021. Other European countries also reached impressively high market shares. 60% in Sweden, 51% in the Netherlands, 49% in Denmark. The US lags far behind, at around 7%. Tesla is no longer the only automaker selling substantial numbers of plug-in cars. At BMW, plug-ins represented 19% of sales in 2021. Geely reached 17%, Mercedes 14% and the VW Group over 12%. Public charging infrastructure is being built out at a pace reminiscent of the turn-of-the-century rollout of fiber-optic telecom networks. The US had 113,000 public chargers at the end of 2021. An increase of 26% for the year. Other countries are adding charging even more rapidly. India's network grew by 79%, and Italy's by 80%. These stats, and the anecdotal evidence we see every day. More EVs on the roads. Lots more EV ads on TV. A welcome bits of good news at a time when the other kind seems to dominate our news feeds. But how much impact is the growth of electrification having on the environment? Reducing air pollution and oil usage is EV's raison d'etre. So one could argue that the only stat that really matters is how much the world's growing fleet of EVs is reducing demand for fossil fuels. The good news is that EV drivers are indeed beginning to make a dent in global oil demand. According to Bloomberg, electric vehicles displaced almost 1.5 million barrels of oil per day in 2021. About 3.3% of total demand. This figure, avoided oil consumption, was around 725,000 barrels of oil per day in 2015. So it has more than doubled in the past 6 years. Another important takeaway from the Bloomberg report is that the EVs that are having the biggest effect on oil consumption are not the ones we tend to read about in the headlines. The vast majority of the oil demand avoided in 2021. A whopping 67%. was thanks to 2- and 3-wheeled EVs, which are being rapidly adopted in Asia. The next largest oil-saving segment was buses, which accounted for 16% of the total oil demand displaced. Passenger vehicles accounted for 13%, and commercial vehicles accounted for 4%. Source reposted and summarized from Joey Klender at Avanex. My take: good news. Let's stop burning oil and get the planet on the right track. Elon Musk reveals Tesla's main rival. June 2, 2022. Searching the internet for Tesla and EV-related content likely brings you to many comparisons between Tesla's vehicles and other electric cars and SUVs. We cover this type of content all the time. However, in the grand scheme of things, Tesla is really competing with gas-powered cars. And a recent tweet by CEO Elon Musk paints a clearer picture of the much larger overall rival. Tesla RT points out that Tesla is also seemingly competing with legacy automakers. Over the years, most early automotive startups have failed to succeed. And most of today's automotive startups are EV makers. Tesla and Ford are the only two U.S. automakers that haven't ever filed for bankruptcy. Though Musk says Tesla was very close to dying for a time. It may seem to some folks that there are plenty of people, companies, corporations, organizations, and even political movements working against Tesla. However, Musk pins it all down to just one, which he aims to beat: Saudi Aramco. As you can see, Musk would like to one day see Tesla's market cap surpass that of Saudi Aramco. Saudi Aramco is a fossil fuel company with a massive market cap. It makes sense that Musk wouldn't be concerned with rival EVs, and even that he'd encourage their success. In fact, the more automakers push for electric cars and bring compelling options to market, the more it threatens Aramco's market cap. According to Tesla RT, Saudi Aramco's market cap is currently at around $2.431 trillion. Meanwhile, Tesla has the largest market cap among global automakers. It wasn't long ago that the company's worth climbed past $1 trillion. Currently, it sits around $800 billion. Source reposted and summarized from Stephen Loveday at Inside EVS. My take: Tesla has a long way to go to get there. Saying that, oil companies are on the decline while Tesla is going to rule the world in the near future.